Hi YouTube, and welcome to my channel. It's me, Panya, your favorite local kid loving Zipana, and I am here today with my little Blahash. Yeah, I do look like a little lost child, and honestly, I also feel like a little lost child right now. But he's so cute. Look at him. Look at my little baby. He's so cute. He's like a little baby Blahash. Very cute, very baby. I wanna pet him. Gracias. Ah, look, he's happy because I pet him. Yeah, he's so cute. Oh, look at those sharp teeth. Yeah, they can rip apart my enemies. Yeah. Anyway, today we're going to watch 2 videos of Casual Geographic to the deep sea, and they're very terrifying creatures. Or very sexy ones like this one on the screen right now. Those apps, that's exactly what I'm talking about, baby. That, ooh, yes. Yes. Anyway. I should not start thirsting already. If you're under 18, maybe don't watch me. Now, I actually really hate any kind of ocean, sea kind of stuff because it's scary, like those creatures. I don't think I have to go into explaining why the deep sea scares the living shit out of me. I don't go into any kind of waters except for like the water in my shower. That one is okay. But in like the outdoorsy waters, like rain, okay, maybe, but like that's it, okay? That's like the maximum we do over here because it's scary. Okay, however, I always kind of like listening to those deep sea creature like noises. You know those YouTube videos from like back in the day where just those creepy recordings that were all obviously super fake, where like, you know, 1 hour long or whatever. Oh, that was amazing. I really like listening to that kind of stuff. I also like listening to stuff like, you know, distress whale callings and shit like that. Am I a monster? Am I a sociopath? Oh no. But it's fun. Okay, I like listening to that kind of stuff because I am over here very, very far away from any kind of waters. Actually, I don't think that's true. I think there's a river nearby. Ah! Out of sight, out of mind. I am at the dry place. These creatures wouldn't survive here. I'm fine, and therefore it's okay to listen to that and to watch these videos too. Yeah, but I'm interested to learn more about it. I think this one actually, no, I forgot like the name of it, but it's really cool. I like this one. It has really long legs. Ooh, it's like, ooh. Look at those legs, baby. Yeah, I know a few creatures, so I'm looking forward to this. So let's get started.
This is probably the most terrifying thing you'll ever see in the ocean.
He's handsome though. Ah! I mean, look at those legs!
That thing is actually a big fin squid and it's believed to grow up to 26 feet long. Scientists believe they hunt by dragging those freakish arms across the ocean floor, snatching up anything unlucky enough to accidentally brush up against it. But by far the scariest thing about this hell squid...
Such a daddy long legs. Ooh. Me like it.
We know almost nothing about it. We don't know how they mate, how they live. All we know for sure is that you can find them at the very bottom of the ocean at depths of up to 15,000 feet, which is more than half the height of Mount Everest. Here's the part that personally freaks me out. Every big fin ever caught was a juvenile, and since no adults have ever been captured, it's possible they can be even bigger than we thought. This sea slender man's arms are covered in tiny suckers.
What? That is a baby? Jesus Christ, okay.
Meaning once it grabs something, there aren't a lot of things strong enough to break free. Those arms can be over 90% of their total body length, and they hold it at a 90-degree angle, which makes this violation against nature look like it's T-posing. As technology improves, we might have a chance to learn more about them. Which isn't a good thing, they need to stay in hell.
They already are in hell, it's fine, it's fine. Just don't go swimming in the ocean, you know? Like, as long as they don't, like, catch you, you're fine. And they're so deep down, you know, it's fine, don't worry. And they're really cute. Honestly, I wish they would be, like, more on the top of parts because those legs, those abs, heck yeah.
More and more disturbing. Blue whales can produce 400 gallons of baby batter, but only 10% of it makes it to the female, meaning 360 gallons get dumped back out. In case you're wondering, that's 8.5 bathtubs of whale maker. Gray whales will go 3-player with 2 males and a female. While the first male is getting his rocks off, the second wing whale will swim.
Kinky. But yeah, I heard about that. It's like they just maybe we should not say that on YouTube. They do that and then it's all in the water And then there's a very, very high possibility that when you go swim and there's like whales nearby or whatever in its mating season, that you will probably swim in their, you know, in their little babies. Yeah, it's a pool of babies at that point. Have fun, guys. That's why I don't go into the ocean. Imagine getting pregnant with that thing. No. No, thank you.
Underneath the female and help hold her in place for a process that can last up to an hour. And friendly reminder, almost every sea monster story ever told was really about a whale's penis, and I will never let y'all forget it. Sperm whales are so loud that their sound can vibrate you to death by either causing your lungs to collapse or an air bubble to form in your brain, which would instantly take you off the senses. Blue whales are big, but not a lot of people understand how big. You can hear a blue whale's heartbeat from a little more than 2 miles away. They can swallow almost 500,000 calories at once. Allegedly, a whale's fart bubble can enclose a full...
Honestly, me too. That ain't a challenge. Me too.
...grown horse. And because I am who I am, I have to tell you that the largest blue whale penis was about 16 feet long and weighed anywhere from 700 to 900 pounds.
Oh, okay. Would you? Like, come on, we gotta ask the big question. Would you? I feel like there are quite a few individuals on a certain side that would. That probably have something like that in their home. That's amazing, man. Jesus Christ. But look at how hairy that is. Man, dude, you gotta shave. Ew. I never said any of that, okay?
Blue whales don't spray water out of their blowholes the way you see in movies. It's actually warm air being forced out of the lungs. It's basically its breath. It's one of the most unholy smells that can ever assault your nose. Like burning rubber in a fish cemetery. Because of that video, there's now people that believe the ocean is salty because of whale sperm. And I'm not gonna lie, I wish it were true because of the look on people's faces when I tell them this is free therapy, but it isn't. Most of the ocean's salt comes from rocks on land because when acidic rain hits the rocks, it erodes them and causes them to
Imagine all of the souls actually little babies. Would people actually believe that though? I feel like no one would ever believe that. Right? Wait, acidic rain? Is that a thing? What? Acidic rain? Huh? Since when is rain acidic? Excuse me. Okay. I need a better umbrella then, because that's a little dangerous.
Salt. The salt gets carried out in streams and rivers where it eventually reaches the ocean. The reason the ocean is so salty is because this has been happening for millions on billions of years. Some of the salt also comes from hydrothermal vents at the bottom of the ocean, but most of the time when you taste seawater, the salt came from a rock, not a whale that already has. So yeah, you don't have to worry about salty seawater. Besides, you should probably be more concerned with the fact that your perfume used to be made from whale vomit.
Oh yeah.
The more you know.
That's true. I heard that if you find whale vomit on the beach, you can get massively rich. There was a guy in Germany who found like a massive one on the beach. I think on the northern shore? Not sure. That was in the news back in the day. He found this huge massive thing. And then he became rich. Like, it was like a few $1,000 or whatever. So cool. Because if you find it, you can just sell it to perfume manufacturers and then you get money. So living at the sea is kind of good, actually. Yeah. You just have to, like, maybe go outside very early in the morning. And then if you find it, free money, baby! Free money! Nice! But I would not want to live next to an ocean, not gonna lie. It's a little too scary of a place to live. But I mean, you lose some, you win some, I guess.
You'd be most afraid of isn't the shark. It's the stonefish because it can deliver venom powerful enough to cause crippling pain and toxic enough to activate your life insurance in less than 2 hours. This fish is...
That's so cool. I know a lot of these facts. Because sharks, it's so rare to actually get bitten by a shark because most of them, first of all, don't eat people. It's like very rare, right? That's why it's in the news a lot when it happens because it's more of a rare thing. Sure, it's like the typical thing of like, oh, you bleed, a shark gets attracted, blood, yummy, and then attacks you and stuff like that, right? And on the surfboard, you look like, what is it called? Like one of those sea dogs, you know? I forgot the name for it. But you look like that, so they kind of attack you because they think you're a snack. And then they realize after snatching a leg or two, that actually, you're not their favorite snack, but you also do taste kind of good, you know? And then, I mean, who can blame them, honestly? But it's more of a rare thing. I think they're like way higher possibilities to die. So you should be careful with sharks, obviously, but they're not out there just hunting you. I think white sharks do actually do that. but they're also super rare. And you know, just don't go into the ocean, you know? It's like when you go into the ocean, you kind of sign a contract with Mother Nature that you do not want to live anymore, you know? It's like, hello? It's karma at that point. Like, why do you go into water? You don't belong in water, okay? And stonefish, they're scary as because you can't see them. And then you step on them and then you're already basically dead. And they do exist in Australia because we did the Australia video and they were mentioned also. Yeah, scary shit.
Armed with a venom called verrucotoxin. And as a neurotoxin, it shuts your body down from the inside.
Yeah.
If you got stung, you would first feel incapacitating pain, swelling, and eventually numbness. But no worries, it gets worse. It always gets worse. If you don't get medical attention fast enough, the poison would destroy tissues in the body, cause uncontrollable twitching and shaking, and eventually paralysis, meaning it would get harder and harder to breathe until you eventually black out. Victims describe the pain as getting continuously hit with a sledgehammer all over the body, and even if you survive, you could still walk away with permanent nerve damage and muscle atrophy. But there's two big reasons why this Satan guppy might be the most dangerous fish on Earth. One is this picture. Because the stonefish looks like a stone, it's so easy to accidentally step on one, and when you do, those spines would get shoved up your foot, and the harder you step, the more poison gets pumped into you. And number two, they can survive outside of water for up to 24 hours, meaning they don't have to be underwater to—
Ha! I'm not safe? Okay, but it's not fast, right? It can't like swim on land, so I'm still safe, right? Okay, am I still safe? Is this thing gonna attack me in my home? Okay, see people, this is why I close my doors and lock them. Because this motherfucker scares me. If he can survive 24 hours on land, maybe there's other stuff out there that can too. That's out there to kill me, okay? No. We do not risk it. We lock our doors. Danger territory.
put you underground. Because Australia is the only place where mistaking a fish for a stone can get you the death penalty. You should never pick this shell up because it's actually one of the most venomous things on the planet. That's because the cone snail can shoot you with a harpoon at 400 miles per hour. That would be like getting struck by—
Dude, I've picked those things up before, but they were empty. They were empty, okay? But I have picked those up before. I did not know that there's danger living inside. I thought it was just a seed shell. No? Okay! Apparently, I also like to live dangerously, huh?
14 Usain Bolts, because ironically this snail is one of the fastest animals on the planet, being able to hit you almost as fast as you can blink. That's not the only thing fast about them, because this murder slug was nicknamed Cigarette Snail because according to urban legend, if you got hit by one, you had enough time for a puff puff pass before you puff puff pass away. If you got stung, you would immediately feel—
Damn! Man, and I don't even smoke! What a shame.
extreme pain, swelling, numbness, and vomiting. But don't worry, it gets worse. It would escalate to muscle paralysis, double vision, and difficulty breathing. And once you get to that point, you can go ahead and start printing out shirts because you finna be on one. And even though the cigarette thing was an exaggeration, it could take only 5 to 8 hours for them to connect you to God's Wi-Fi. Now the problem with these snails is that they use venom to paralyze unlucky prey, and they'll even put them to sleep with a toxin that's 1,000 times more powerful than morphine, which works on fish and stupid people that pick them up. But they don't just use one though, like Tyson, they be on them combos. They can have 50 different toxins in their venom, which is why there is no antidote. The only cure is to try not to die and become a Snapchat member.
Your child can visit steamy jungles, grassy—
That totally did not scare me at all. Okay, so fastest snail animal there is. Okay, just don't go into the water, people.
plains, and the dark depths of the ocean.
I should probably explain what the hell this is. That was an angel shark, and that's the worst Call of Duty player you'll ever meet. The angel shark will lie motionless for days waiting for anything bite-sized to accidentally pass above its head so it can take its life. Sounds like a cheat code, but there's no referee in the ocean, so this camel shark stat pads kills like no other. But you don't have to worry about them snatching up your leg because they're only interested in fish, crustaceans, and mollusks like squid.
Yay!
That being said, angel sharks are a lot like electrical power sockets. They're only dangerous if you're stupid enough to poke them. Now you would think that's common sense, but because these sharks stay perfectly still, scuba divers think it's a good idea to touch them, and that makes these sharks go from mannequin challenge to homicide. Luckily attacks are rare, and as long as you're not an idiot, this sea carpet won't fade you. Good thing too, because there's a shark in this picture and he may not be an angel, but he'll turn you into one. 8 reasons why this is your new favorite fish. Even though they can be up to 23 feet over 3,000 pounds, they're 100% perfectly harmless to people because they only ever eat plankton and small shrimp. Unlike stingrays, they're not venomous. This giant placemat couldn't hurt you if it wanted to. They're smart enough to understand mirrors because manta rays were seen waving and blowing bubbles at their own reflection, something they wouldn't do if they thought it was another manta ray. Manta rays will launch themselves out of the ocean, and they do it to get rid of parasites or to avoid predators, but sometimes—
He flew! I didn't know that they can fly! That is sick! Manta rays are cool, man.
it seems like they do it just for fun. They have the largest brain of any fish, making them arguably the smartest things in the ocean that don't also belong on a list with Cosby. That isn't a TV guide. Baby manta rays are called pups, and the mother will give—
I wonder who's smarter, a dolphin or a manta ray? Because dolphins are like smarter than humans, right?
To 1 or 2 pups every year. They're normally black, a dark brown, or a grayish blue, but there are pink manta rays out there, and no, this is not edited. This pink manta ray was found off the coast of Australia on the Great Barrier Reef, proving that
this is so cute. It's a little fairy. Oh, pretty. Me likey.
that country is both a national treasure and Satan's jungle gym. They're smart enough to form strong emotional bonds with each other, and they're smart enough to ask for help. One repeatedly approached the diver until he realized that she had a fish hook stuck under her eye, and she waited patiently as he removed it. Once he removed it, she swam off. What would happen if you took one of the meanest animals in the ocean and gave it legs? Well, 2 things. 1, you'd have one of the most violently aggressive animals on Earth walking on land, and 2, I know this because it technically happened and they exist. It's a known fact that the biggest menace to society in the ocean are dolphins of any kind. They jump sharks for no reason, slapbox their babies, and they have a rap sheet longer than Drake's. And the worst dolphin of all actively tortures other animals for sport. Dolphins and whales are part of a group called cetaceans, which basically happened because this guy decided he wanted to test his luck out in the ocean and evolved to become semi-aquatic and then fully aquatic. But funny story, there was a group of these land animals that actually stayed on land, and about 54 million years ago they split up, with the animals that would become whales and dolphins heading out to sea. The ones that didn't follow them out into the ocean stayed on land, and after millions of years of plot development, they went on to become one of the most vicious animals in the world. In case I haven't made it obvious, I'm talking about hippos. The African homicide horse is actually the closest living relative of whales and dolphins. One's a bipolar tank
That is crazy, I did not know that.
with Roy Ridge and a devil's overbite, and the other's a pufferfish abusing shark assaulting sea quagmire, and that is f***ing evolution. Remember that dolphin sound effect from SpongeBob that was supposed to be like a sensor? You know what the I'm talking about. Well, that sound didn't actually come from a dolphin. It was actually the sped up laughter of the kookaburra. It's a kingfisher bird found in Australia that sounds like a guy trying way too hard to laugh at a cute girl's jokes. You may not be able to hear it, but when you double the playback speed, you can hear the sound that cartoons made you swear was a dolphin. Moral of this video, every dolphin sound effect you've ever heard on every TV show is really just an Australian crack tweetie.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. That's so cool, man. I definitely learned quite a few things from this. This is amazing, especially with the bird. Wow. Just bamboozled everybody. You there watching right now, they bamboozled you. A bird bamboozled you. Yeah. Feel ashamed yet? But yeah, I really like this. His rogues are amazing. And I have a second one I also wanna watch. It's this one. The Unspeakable Horrors of the Deep Sea. That is also by Casual Geographic. And it is Feed Lindsay and Nicole. I'm excited!
You've probably heard me say that I'd rather eat 10 pounds of Popeye's biscuits with no drink than ever go out into the ocean.
Yes.
Well, I'd rather ride cross-country on a bike with a hot grill for a seat than spend half a second.
Actually, no. We have heard that you would throw the cactus. Whatever that means, I don't know. I suppose that means eating a cactus. maybe just swallowing it whole, yeah, without chewing or something. Yeah, that's definitely what it means.
Second in the deep sea. There's a lot of living nightmares and paralysis demons come to life if you sink deep enough, and the megalodon is not one of them. You'll often hear this thing about how the prehistoric apex predator never got discontinued, it's just chilling a step above hell in the abyss. This is cap for 3 good reasons. 1, there just isn't enough food to sustain a 60-foot you to the natural order. 2, if nature did keep the same jumbo jaws that peaked in the Pliocene, we at least would have seen a body by now. And number 3, why do y'all want this to be alive so bad? I promise you there's way worse things down there. Like, I would evacuate.
Well, why are you behind me? Should I switch to the other side? Should I switch to the other side? Wait, let me switch. Hi.
My bowels if I ever saw a giga great white shark. But put me in front of a T-posing squid and I'm shitting more bricks than the entire city of Newark. The big fin squid is easily one of the most disturbing things alive as I'm saying this. It's a T-posing predator with arms estimated to max out at just under 30 feet. Scientists believe the big fin catches bodies by dragging those arms, which can be easily 20 times its own body length, along the ocean floor like trawling nets and feeding on whatever poor soul accidentally bumps into them. You're gonna hear me say believe or we think a lot, and that's because we don't know a whole lot about them. Almost every sighting and virtually every specimen studied were either juveniles or paralarvae. We have no way of knowing exactly what their final form could look like.
It's a sexy dude again! Ah! Who drew this motherfucker? Gee, such talent, such beauty, such abs. Ooh. He looks like an alien though. That looks cool. I love this. This is very handsome. This, people, is the ideal man. This right here in the middle. Ideal man.
Final form could look like. For all we know, this could be Junior, and we just haven't seen Mama Big Fin yet. Who would have thought that just putting elbows on a squid would instantly turn it into the spawn of Satan? Oh, and if you thought the Big Fin was just this slow, passive floating predator, then you're seriously underestimating the ocean's ability to massacre your mental health. And if you're curious, this video was taken about 7,000 feet down in the Gulf of Mexico. But considering they're believed to be the deepest living squids at about 20,000 feet, I have a theory. This is a juvenile, and the big boys are the ones shacking it up down in the crotch of the ocean. But good news, the big fin probably only feeds on small fish and crustaceans. Bad news, there are squids big enough to beef with the biggest predators on the planet. And the biggest predator on the planet that isn't a disgraced former YouTuber is the sperm whale, which on its own would have to be one of the most traumatizing things to witness during their 2-hour hunting expeditions down in the deep sea. Well, the tankiest carnivore on Earth regularly runs fades with the giant squid. And by giant, we're talking about calamari growing to an estimated 40 feet long. Not only are they themselves predators that hunt using 20-foot tentacles, they're opportunistic.
That is so much food right there. The amount of sushi you can make with this. Oh, hell yeah. Look at this. It's like you could feed so many people sushi with this. This is amazing. Wow. Now I want to order sushi.
The cannibals that would 100% murk their entire family reunion for some calories. Now, nature high-key screwed up their character design. They have a donut-shaped brain and an esophagus running through it, meaning if they swallow something big enough, not only do they run the risk of choking to a flatline, they can also factory reset their entire personality through severe brain damage. Which is why they mitigate this by shredding their victims with a razor-sharp beak and what is essentially a tongue with teeth, the radula. That beak is such a
Excuse me. You know what? Maybe I'm not eating that one. Maybe that one is eating me.
weapon that you'll rarely see a sperm whale that hasn't been tattooed during a struggle with a giant squid. And while the plus-size cephalopod usually loses in a war with the whale, they do not make it easy. But the most disturbing thing about them is that eye. Giant squids have the most physically imposing eye in nature, with it being roughly the size of a soccer ball. Contrary to popular belief, huge eyes don't exactly help it see further, but it does mean they're terrifyingly good at noticing objects, giving
This is actually a vampire squid. We'll get to that. Oh, why are you showing it right now? But it looks very scary. No, thank you.
off their own light, which is a lifesaver since when their biggest optosperm whale is on the hunt, modern-day Leviathan disturbs glowing creatures like jellyfish and crustaceans who flash in response. Having eyes as big as our heads means the giant squid can detect and use those flashes to avoid becoming a corpse. But that also means that if you ever go swimming in the Giga Squid's area code, the flashes you'd create mean that while you might not see it, the same animal that does its own kind dirty would know exactly where you are. And honestly, there's only one thing that could be worse than getting stalked by a school bus-sized headfoot. There's another squid with hunting
True. You know what? That's a pretty fair point. What about did he switch sides now? Hey! I already went out of the way. Why are you doing this to me? Ah! Man, where am I supposed to go? Wait, let me move again. Okay, I'm down here now. You're happy now? Ah! Man, it looks like he's holding me. I'm holding my stuffed toy. He's holding me, the next stuffed toy. Oops. Looks kind of funny, not gonna lie. Hi. Hello. No, thank you.
tactics so spiritually upsetting, I'm not even gonna talk about it. I'm gonna go ahead and use a lifeline.
The Humboldt squid, also known as the red devil. I'm Lindsay.
Now I'm in the way again.
Hi.
Right, hi. Let me switch. Hi. Lady on the dry land. I like this. There's no ocean inside.
Humboldt squid are found in the eastern Pacific Ocean, typically between 600 to 2300 feet below the surface of the ocean. And their nickname comes from the way they use their pigment cells called chromatophores to communicate. You're probably familiar with chromatophores through videos of different cephalopods using them to change color, blending into their surroundings, and even dreaming. And Humboldt squid notably use them to turn bright red when they're aggravated, hence the nickname Red Devil. It's very on brand. They're also extremely predatory and have been known to act aggressively towards scuba divers on rare occasion, which becomes a bit more terrifying when I tell you that they can get to 8 feet long and 100 pounds. Now you might be thinking, Lindsay, that is not that big. What about the giant squid and the colossal squid that can both get to like 40 feet long? Well, I haven't told you the best part yet. The Humboldt squid is known to live and hunt in groups of up to 10, no, up to 100, no, 1,000, yes, in groups of over 1,000. 1 100,000 squid. That's about 990 too many if you ask me. While hunting these groups, they use their chromatophores to communicate with each other, coordinating movements and attacks, allowing them to take down larger prey, dragging them into the depths until they go unconscious. Scientists have identified some of these communication patterns, as you can see in this little chart, but still don't know exactly what any of them.
Ooh, that's so cool. I like that. Wait, let me look at this a little closer. Oh, there you go. I can't read because I'm too small, but it's up there, so I gotta read this. The education. Let's just, you know, have the education, the information, just flood into my brain. Gotta look at it, and then it's gonna create knowledge in my brain. Yeah, and then I get smart. I think at least. Let me go down here again. Alright, continue.
But regardless, that sounds like one of the worst ways to be unalived in the ocean. Oh wait, this isn't a TikTok collaboration. That sounds like one of the worst ways to die in the ocean.
So as you can see, whether it's being confronted by a Humboldt block party or squaring up with a live-action Kraken, there are many aspects of the deep sea that end up with you putting your therapist up a tax bracket. And a lot of that's because of this cute little thing known as deep sea gigantism. The idea that the cold temperature, the dissolved oxygen, and the lack of pressure from predators allow some animals to escalate to the biggest and most terrifying versions of themselves.
This is
Exhibit
fake.
A, the Japanese spider crab, which can measure—
Delicious! Delicious! Oh! It looks so delicious. Oh, yummy. If you would have like a really big pot and you would put that into the pot, you could have so much crab leg to eat. Oh, delicious. Oh, amazing. I like them. Great food source. Haven't tried yet, but I would really like to. But I don't go fishing in Japan, and I also don't have a giant cook pot, cooking pot, whatever. I don't have that. So, yeah, sad. But I wish I had, because to be honest, I'm drooling right now. Looking at these ones, I'm just drooling. It's awesome. Must be so delicious.
12 feet across from claw to claw and weigh as much as a human toddler. Only thing worse than a giant spider crab is a giant crab spider. This is an Antarctic sea spider, a dinner plate-sized demon spawn that hunts by sucking the life out of its prey through its proboscis. Now,
what? It's sucking its life out? It would suck my life force out. Excuse me? What kind of isekai skill set is that? That's ridiculous. Is this like a vampire spider? Huh? No. No, thank you. Also, I do not like those legs. They've got nice long legs, okay? But no thank you. No thank you.
technically, they're not actual spiders. But also, I imagine most people watching technically don't give a f, especially since this one looks like it identifies as a face hugger. Then there's a giant isopod, which is essentially—
But this one is cute. This one is cute. What did he call it? Isopod or something like that? I suppose that's also what the tiny ones on land are called, right? I love them so much. In German, we call them Kellasel. Kellasel is just the cutest shit ever. When I was little, I would always collect them and play with them in the garden. I didn't have much other animal friends. I don't know. I didn't really like any kind of insects. But Kellasel, heck yeah. So these ones in mini, heck yeah. I love them so much. I always had them around me, on me, wherever. They were so cute. I still think they're so cute. And this one is just a big, like, sea version of it. And honestly, that's pretty cute. This one is okay. Yeah, unless it wants to kill me, then maybe not. But it's cute, you know? It's really cute. Look at him. And he looks like an alien too with those thingies here. You see that? Yeah. Looks like an alien, but a cute one. I like him.
Actually an aquatic cockroach big enough to be cradled like a baby. No clue why you would though. And if you're looking for a truly supersized Animal Crossing, the oarfish—
Why wouldn't you? What? Also, yes, so the oarfish, Animal Crossing. I love to play Animal Crossing, and I love to go into the ocean in Animal Crossing and just dive to collect all of these things, or go fishing and then collect these things. And this oarfish is just one of the biggest things that you can get there, and it's so freaking cool. Animal Crossing has taught me so much about animals, you have no idea. If you have a child and you want them to play games but have them also be educated at the same time, Animal Crossing. Hands down. Animal Crossing is very educational and fun as well. And it also creates very, very good social skills. Like, you know, being kind to your neighbors, helping other people out. You know, it teaches them about the tax system and like credit stuff. Yeah, it's good. But the oarfish, so freaking cool.
Should be on your list. The giant oarfish can grow to well over 30 feet long, and there have even been claims of those in the neighborhood of 50 feet. Proof that back in the day when we had stories about sea monsters, they weren't lying, they just didn't have all the names yet. Also, if you caught that pun earlier, we're friends now. But with deep sea gigantism and the endless expansive ocean acting as a canvas for Shaitan to practice.
Wait, I'm thinking, did I get the pun? Did I get the pun? Are we friends or not? I hope I got the pun. Either I got the pun or I completely missed it. It's a 50-50 chance, okay? Someone please let me know. Am I friends with him now or not? I hope I am. Oh man. I think it's a problem that I don't even know what pun. That may be an issue.
This is art. If you dive deep enough, there be monsters. For example, This isn't an animal. It's a group of animals joined together in something like a hive mind. So we're not talking about it.
Okay, but this one is so cool. It kind of looks like one of those horror games or horror movies.
We're talking about them. And sophonophores like this come in many forms. Like the Portuguese man of war armed with venom to ensure that the excruciating experience of meeting one is permanently etched into your brain. And there's a Priodubia, a giant sophonophore that can flex a total length of up to 160 feet. And even though it's a collective group of tiny animals, its length could humble a blue whale, making it technically the longest creature on the planet. Or at best—
Ew! That's kind of disgusting that it's that long, honestly. There's no need for that much length, honestly. that's a little long if you ask me, but okay. But kind of cool as well.
Just a modest second, since the bootlace ribbon worm has been reported to reach 180 feet in length. And it's toxic because the ocean, and of course it is, with nasty smelling mucus potent
Ew, slimy. Bah, I don't like it.
enough to life deprive the crabs it likes to eat. Like
Also, what was that? Wait, go back 1 second. This one, what is that? Is that one of those crabs that he ate? Or is that his crab, if you know what I mean? Well, what is this up here? I wonder.
It likes to eat. Like I said, whether it's Lucifer's tapeworm or a flying spaghetti creature, there be monsters. And
that is so cool. It looks like a mountain of bananas. Oh, okay. Maybe I'm very hungry while recording this video because I just constantly talk about food. Oops. Maybe I should have eaten beforehand. Sorry.
it gets so much worse than a giant worm. Because as terrifying as a deep sea is, it's also nasty. And there might not be anything more repulsive than the hagfish. This loogie linguini feeds on the rotting corpses and carcasses that sink down into its domain. And since they don't have any actual teeth, the graveyard guppy feeds by sliding into an opening and eating the decomposing body from the inside out. And you would think that some—
Okay, but listen, at least he waits until I'm dead, okay? If I'm already dead, then honestly, I don't give a shit, okay? I'm already gone, whatever. Feed on me, eat me, whatever, right? It's fine. It's a little creepy, but it's fine. It's fine. He waits. And he's basically like a cleaner, right? So we have to kind of appreciate that, okay? Keeping the ocean floor clean. Yeah, that's good. Good work. It's actually a very respectable job.
Something that eats like a casket wouldn't have to worry about getting put on a plate itself. Again, you're giving the ocean too much credit. As self-defense, the hagfish will sweat buckets of slime, a phlegm jacket that's thick enough to clog the gills of anything hungry enough to F around and unlucky enough to find out. To the point where this is the end game of a truck transporting hagfish on the highway, crashing. Now, you've definitely seen this picture before, but have you ever stopped and asked yourself what they were doing there in the first place? You remember how—
No, but why is it so slimy? I think the worst thing is that it's slimy. Slime is disgusting. I mean, it's also kind of sexy. Actually, it's like 50-50, you know? It's kind of disgusting, but also, you know? I leave it there.
I said nothing that eats like a hagfish should ever have to worry about getting eaten. Well, simple. For these hagfish, their final destination—
someone had fun over here. Jeez. Wow. How much lube do you need? That's crazy.
were dinner plates in Asian countries such as South Korea, where they're considered a delicacy. Now, I'm not one to judge other cultures,
yummy.
but we seem to have a habit of constantly trying to eat all the things nature went out of its way to tell us not to. But one thing you won't see as a—
Oh, I can smell this picture. Ah, so good. I love that. Yeah, I can literally smell this. Ooh, This would go really hard. Oh, I kind of want it now. Yeah, and it's not slimy anymore. That's good.
The main course is something ironically named after a fruit. The sea cucumber is like the hagfish in that its meal prep consists of all the things we normally flush, burn, or bury.
Wait, cucumber is a fruit? I heard of tomato being a fruit, but cucumber, it does have seeds. Is it because it has seeds? Why is it a fruit? That makes me uncomfortable. So if I make a fruit salad, I have to put cucumber in. But also tomato. At that point, I could just make a normal salad, you know? I call it a fruit salad. I didn't know that that's a fruit. Oh, damn.
Soul evacuated bodies that sink down to the ocean floor instantly get put on the cucumber's grocery list. It's a literal bottom feeder, and I mean that since they'll also make a meal out of feces. But like with vultures, if Thanos had beef with sea cucumbers, the world would become an infinitely more disgusting place.
He's so cute. Look at him. Oh, I love the sea cucumber. Oh, so cute. Oh, adorable. Oh, look at the belly. The belly is so cute. Oh my god. And ironically, I really want to pet this. Oh, this is cute. A little seafood. Aww.
That's not the only way sea cucumbers contribute to society. They're also often used as a protective bunker for fish and, well, let's just say they break in through the back door. Oh yeah, it's a violation of the highest natural order. It gets worse.
Why would you go into somebody's butt like that?
First, when a pearlfish decides to have a playdate right next to its prostate. I don't even know if they have a prostate, but you get what I mean. And if that makes you uncomfortable, here's an ad to give you time to mentally prepare for what's next. This adorable little guy.
They have a playdate in the butt of a different person. Well, creature. But they were so cute. No shame on the cute sea cucumber. The sea cucumber is not its fault, okay? It just has a very cute big butt, okay? And a very big butthole, I guess. No, don't shame. Don't shame the sea cucumber. Shame the fish. Yeah.
Is known as a basket star. It's a type of brittle star and an echinoderm, which actually makes it a close cousin of the sea cucumber. If you ever learned about fractals in geometry, then that's why the repeating pattern of branching arms might look familiar. It's also why the US is really wasting $20 billion a year looking into space, because the real ET is happening right here. Because of the unsightly way basket stars get from A to B, they've also earned the nickname sea snakes. I feel itchy all of a sudden. However, even though it looks like something Lucifer would use to pleasure himself, they eat mostly zooplankton and are pretty much harmless for the most part. And honestly, that pretty—
brother, what? Brother, what did you just say? Okay. That's wild. But they're so pretty.
Pretty much describes 80% of the nonsense in the deep sea, only really harmful to your peace of mind. Like take the frilled shark. Having been around for 80-something million years, not only is the frilled shark a living fossil, it's likely nature's rough draft beta version of sharks today. Also, don't let this video fool you. They can grow to a respectable 6 feet long. Also, they can be pregnant.
Why is it disabled? Are they all disabled? Huh. I mean, I guess, right? They look like disabled sharks. That's cool, though. Huh. And they can still, like, swim and stuff, I suppose. Are they then, like, slower? Are they, like, full-on handicapped? Huh? This is actually kind of interesting. Tell me more about this one.
For 3.5 years, which honestly makes about as much sense as everything else down there. And in terms of your mental health, the frilled shark is pretty harmless. Until you look them in the mouth. The devil's fleshlight has hundreds of needle-like teeth to ensure that anything that gets caught in there doesn't get a second chance to pursue happiness. And for a shark that's been around long enough to have attended Saturn's wedding, I don't know why, but every picture of them looks like they're struggling with their own existence. Like I said though, they're not a threat to humans.
Wait, what did he right there? Where is it? Probably because they're usually dead as Oh man. Aw. But they're kind of adorable. They're also, yeah, okay, you know what? Like, they're cutesy, like, wiggling around, but the mouth and stuff, and the teeth, no. Yeah, no, it's a little scary, you know? No, thank you.
Like I said though, they're not a threat to humans. But like I also said,
nice.
Therapy ain't cheap, so if you don't want to end up on a couch, don't look a frilled shark in the mouth. But yeah, you'd be surprised at just how many types of sharks you'll find in the same neighborhood SpongeBob got stranded in that one time. You have 20-foot sleeper sharks that are somehow able to use stealth to just spawn and inhale sustenance like a water Kirby. Speaking of sleepers, in 2015, a Pacific sleeper was recorded in the Solomons Island. Why is that important? Well, its home address was right under an active volcano, proving that if any animal had plot armor, it'd be sharks. Then you have the ghost shark, which, okay, yep, you got me, is an actual shark. It's a close cousin known as a chimera.
What the heck is that? Wait, you can't see right now. Do you see that eye? No, thank you. Nope. Very big no.
The ghost part though, that's on brand. They kind of remind me of the dry bones fish from Mario. The ghost Nada shark doesn't even have the teeth you'd expect it to have, but instead they have plates that they use to grind up food. But since nature's constantly overcompensating, chimeras do have venomous spines that are harmful to...
Okay, actually this looks kind of cool. Look at the little snoot like over here. This is actually kind of cute. I changed my mind. This one is cute. Scary, but cute.
More than just your mental well-being. But by far the weirdest thing about them, chimeras have a tenaculum on their forehead. A tenaculum is a reproductive organ, meaning this fish has on his forehead. Venom and that aside.
They have their sausage on a they have their sausage what? They have their sausage on their forehead. Excuse me. They're just like head bumping the females? That's kind of funny. That's kind of funny.
This fish fresh out of Tim Burton's Wet Dream is actually pretty cool looking. And I'm just gonna say it. I think they're cute, and I'm perfectly fine with standing on that hill alone. However, I don't think you'll find a single soul on this next shark's hill.
Feast your eyes on the goblin shark, a demon dog-looking fish with a mouth that snaps like nobody's business. They're rarely seen, but are known to live in oceans all around the world, at depths of up to 4,200 feet below the surface of the ocean, and are estimated to get to 18 feet long, which is really big for a deep-sea shark. You might have seen videos online of their jaws just fully ejecting from their brain case in a process called slingshot feeding. It's kind of what they're known for. Their upper and lower jaws lunge forward away from the skull, engulfing their prey. I know it probably seems ridiculous and almost alien, but it's actually not uncommon. Most fishes have jaws that aren't entirely attached. One might argue that the goblin shark is the most extreme example of this look, until you see a video of the sling jaw wrasse, who use suction feeding to snatch up their prey. They look like they have a trombone stuck in their mouth. Goblin...
Sorry. That's funny. Just slurping their prey like with ramen noodles. Imagine like if you go to the ramen shop that's local, right? They just slurp up their enemies. The little fish snacks. That's funny.
Sharks have a particularly long snout, and it's not for nothing. They have sensory structures, pores all over it that help them locate their prey, like squid, fish, and crustaceans. And I am personally grateful I am not a squid, fish, or crustacean.
Yeah, goblin's the right word for the only shark in the world with a receding gum line. But you gotta admit, yeeting your own jaw to catch calories is pretty metal, and you're gonna find that a lot of the creatures rolling in it deep have evolved some of the most creative ways of bagging groceries. Probably the most popular is the fish that nearly turned Nemo into an orphan. The anglerfish has two defining personality traits, and one of them is that fishing lure hanging right in front of those life-canceling jaws. That light actually comes from bioluminescent bacteria shacking up inside a modified fin. So when a bite-sized light work swims up to the light thing and it just cops some easy protein, the angler ensures that some fish out there never sees its father again. The other thing anglerfish got clout for is their mating habits. I'm not gonna get into it, just know that if your marriage looks anything like theirs, you're gonna need both a divorce and a restraining order. And you know what? Intensive therapy on top of that, extra-freaking-viciously. Nemo's paralysis demon isn't the only deep-sea creature.
Wait. No. I need the details.
To the weaponized light. This distinguished gentleman is known as the stoplight loosejaw, and its defining trait is that it uses a red light to hunt, which turns out to be a massive cheat code, since the longer the wavelength of a color, the less energy that wavelength has, and the faster it gets absorbed by water. And since the color red has the longest wavelength out of all of them, it's the first one to get absorbed. This is why red light can't reach the deep sea, and the animals living in the abyss that are red actually appear black, which makes it easier for them to hide from predatory smoke. Ooh. But with a stoplight using red as a searchlight, it's pretty much cracked at this version of hide and seek. Not to mention, since most of the life down there can't even see red, it's able to catch bodies while also not giving up its location to predators or the prey it packs up. Whoa. This fish really evolved a whole wall hack and a real-life invisibility cloak. Tell me that ain't crazy. And that freakish overbite ensures that once prey is found, it's lost. Forever. But why hunt prey when you could just sit and wait for it to come to you? That's the entire playbook for the deep sea lizard.
But that's very ugly. It was a very ugly one and very scary too. Oh, scary. I don't like
lizard fish. Just look at that smile. You know he's on nefarious timing. And at over 2 feet long, they earned the title of being one of the premier apex predators of the deep sea. As a habitual camper, they lie waiting for life to pass them by.
Ew, why is it smiling at me like that? Oh, no thank you. It kind of looks like a crocodile though.
Before they lunge and use hypodermic needles for teeth to cancel it. And with Apex standing for anyone providing smoke gets extinguished, lizardfish don't hesitate to turn their own kind into coffin fodder. And with the whole point of those teeth being to hold struggling, panicking prey in place, they make sure they don't live long enough to learn from their mistake. But as much of a therapy bill as Gecko Guppy's mugshot might be, it might not even be the worst headshot in the ocean. Not as long as this is still a factor. I don't know anyone who would.
What the freak is that? At least give me a warning before you show me that. He really needs to go to the dentist. Ay, do you see that? Oh, bro, you need to go to the dentist. Maybe a lot of other doctors, because I think you're already dead. You look like an old dead man. Like, where's your skin? I only see the bone and then the spider webs and then some pearls. And I mean, it is a very pretty decorated old man corpse, I guess. That's what it looks like, right? Because it looks like pearls and stuff. No.
Waste the oxygen trying to defend this.
I would. Many say this is a face only a mother could love. Well, then maybe he is my son. This is the deep sea telescope fish, one of the most stunning creatures of the deep tropical oceans. They're found at depths of about 1,600 to 6,600 feet below the surface of the ocean. I can't say that normally. Surface of the ocean. And like you'll see if you look up photos of them online, they are often photographed at unfortunate angles that don't do them any justice. They orient themselves upwards, hanging out vertically in the water column, as they use their specially adapted eyes to hunt for the silhouettes of their prey. There are two species of telescope fish, Gigantora indica and Gigantora chuni. Don't be fooled by their genus name, which makes them sound like they're gigantic. That is not the case at all. Indica only gets to about 8 inches long and chuni a measly 6. They are just little guys. Gigantora actually translates to big tail, specifically. They are about half tail. But if they happen to latch onto a snack that's a bit bigger than their own size, that's no problem at all. They underwent a series of skeletal reductions that allow for more room to just fold it in half. That's right, they're expert folders. In 1925, scientists found a 5.5-inch long viperfish inside the stomach of a 3-inch long telescope fish. They described it as neatly folded, an incredible quality possessed by the lovely telescope fish.
Yeah, I'm sure if we gave it Blistex and a hairline restoration surgery, he'd be cute, but that's just me. That being said, there's a lot of pretty dope things just chilling in the deep. Take the barrel-eyed fish, the fish with a transparent head that means it can spot ops or prey directly above it, thanks to those two green gummy-looking orbs that are actually its eyes. Or the ultra-rare giant phantom jellyfish, equipped with 30-foot arms that makes this ET understudy.
So elegant. Look at this. Oh, it looks so soft. And it looks so cozy and warm. I would totally be trapped by this one. I would fall for this trap, 100%. This thing is gonna catfish me.
The length of a whale shark. And when I say rare, I mean this jelly's only been seen like 100 times in the history of mankind, so the fact that you're watching this right now is kind of wild. Then you have the deep sea Dumbo octopus that copes with stress by turning itself into a ball to discourage predators from eating it. And if this right here looks familiar, yeah, right to his thighs. The vampire squid does the inverse, as they'll turn themselves inside out and into their own personal panic room whenever they're pressed by a possible predator. And how about a sea pig for you? Take everything I said about
They just turn themselves inside out. That's insane. I love that. So cool.
sea cucumbers and forget it for a second, because honestly, they're just really cute in a way I can't fully explain. But it's not hard to see what makes this squid instant serotonin.
But also,
Rosia Pacific.
wait, you guys can't see properly. Look! He's kind of disgusting, but also really cute. Like, those eyes are little... I think he just looks scared. I think that's a problem. I think he looks scared. But he's so cute, you know? Yeah, he's adorable.
Or the stubby squid is actually more like a cuttlefish. It's also a cuddly fish, and it's nature's apology letter for the sheer trauma it saturated the ocean with. It's actually real, and those arts and crafts looking eyes help it catch prey on a nocturnal schedule. It's also important as an environmental indicator, since scientists will often study their responses to changes in water pH and use that to determine how polluted the water is around them. Which you would think would earn this anime octopus the respect of the scientific community. Well, you'd be wrong. There's a video where some scientists found one, and let me just say, not even Hiroshima got roasted that hard. But that's gonna do it for this video. Make sure you go ahead and drink water, hug your moms, go subscribe to Lindsay's channel, link will be in the description. Shout out to Lindsay for being in this video, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.
It's like they look fake, like Davy Jones.
They look like googly eyes.
They look like they just painted them on.
Yeah. It looks so fake.
So some other aerobic team just came before and just left it here.
It's like some little kid dropped their toy.
Trash.
Oh my
He's
god.
awesome though.
He is awesome.
That's a good focus right there.
Great focus,
eyes?
Justin.
It's freaking me out.
I want to see him move.
It's a
Do something.
Do something.
Man, they're bullying him so hard. Poor little baby. Aw, poor little baby, man. That's so mean. Okay, I think now I'm in my right space again. But that's actually very good. Very educational. Very funny. I just wish he would have told me like about the one mating ritual thingy. Sad. I wanted to know the fact. I'm probably gonna Google it afterwards. Maybe you guys can tell me also. Because I kind of want to know. Actually, do I want to know? Probably not. But that was so cool. Yeah, so big thank you to Casual Geographic and to Lindsay for making this video. I really enjoyed watching this. Go check out their videos, guys. Go give them a sub and a like. They did incredible work. I learned a lot. I hope you guys did as well. I did know quite a few things, surprisingly. For hating the deep sea ocean so much, I do know quite a bit of stuff, I guess. So, but I also learned a lot more new stuff, so you know, yeah. Well, if you like this video, if you like me, perhaps, maybe, a little bit. If you think my blush is very cute, right over here, in my arms, then leave a like, leave a sub, and maybe even a comment. Alright, that's it for today. Bye-bye!